Girls, how are you doing today? It's Single Roleplay here once again. Today I want to show you the build that I've been playing for the last 2 weeks, which I thought would be a meme build, but it turned out to be the fucking strongest build I've played this league and possibly one of the strongest builds I've ever played in this game. It has also appeared to be one of the tankiest, if not the absolute tankiest build, and one of the most affordable builds I've probably ever played for the melee character. All this combined made it an absolutely fantastic experience. Strong boss killer, fantastic mapper, not the fastest but definitely one of the strongest. So let's take a look. So what you see here, guys, is a Reckoning Cyclone Max Block Gladiator build. And first thing I want to mention that the build is not entirely based on kind of my ideas. I've seen Reckoning builds for a while, and the inspiration came from the Reddit thread when the guy showed up literally walking through the Hydra map, not taking any damage and killing Hydra literally being AFK, which was really an inspiration for me. I took a look at this thing and started terror crafting heavily, starting to look into things, maximizing damage, and this is how I came up to this setup. Later I found out that Octavian also played this build. He actually pushed this build quite far. He had fantastic gear, leveled quite far on his character, but he had a different approach. He went with the Resolute Technique non-crit version, which emphasized quite a bit on the Cyclone and not on the Reckoning. Stacked some 45 effectiveness, some Impale effectiveness. So this was like a 50-50 Cyclone Reckoning build, which I didn't like that much. I wanted to push Reckoning, I wanted to push Counterattack to see how much damage they do, and this is what I did with this character. If you followed my stream, you probably saw how the build completely annihilated the Guardians, which literally they literally killed themselves for me, because this is a Counterattacks doing the most of the job here. Because Counterattack is like, especially for this skill Reckoning, you can see that there's kind of a shield which retaliates and crits and kills entirely, like explodes pack of enemies. This is what Reckoning is. The reason why I selected a Reckoning is because there are like 4 trigger skills in a Path of Exile. One is Riposte, Vengeance, and Reckoning. And Reckoning has 0.4 seconds of cooldown, where the other skills have like 0.8 seconds and 1.2 seconds, which are make it literally worthless for mapping. But Reckoning has 0.4 seconds, which with 30% cooldown less on the Helm enchantment gives us 0.3 seconds, which is more than 3 retaliating counterattacks per second, making it an actually fucking viable skill. I also stack quite a bit of damage, and the only reason why the build does so much damage is because I spec into crit, and I heavily into crit. I'm running Abyssus with a lot of crit chance, enormous amount of crit multiply, and crazy amount of damage everywhere. That's why I wanted to min max and see just how much damage it does. And you will see right now on the Hydra, and this is what my first attempt on Hydra with the Abyssus. I wanted just to see how fast it dies, and it literally was dead in like a couple of seconds. And when he hits me, it just instantly dead. That's it. Another cool thing of the build is that it's incredibly tanky. This is the tankiest build I've ever played in this game, guys, and I'm playing for the last 2 years non-stop. This is a max block Gladiator with a capped block, which is 73 by default, and when you block you go like 79, and the max block in the game is 75, so it's literally a max cap block for both spells and attacks, so literally nothing can kill you. I died I died only 3 to 4 times during the whole fucking leveling process from 70 to 94, and this is the least deaths I've had ever in this game. One death was the Corrupted Blood, another one was some kind of a Devourer shotgunning in the Delph, and once I was killed by a giant pack of Maracats in a double beyond tier 16 Elder Beach map with fuck ton of different shit happening there. So literally like several deaths for the entire fucking character, which is absolutely insanity. I literally stood in giant packs of Beyonds taking no damage. I literally IFK'd the Guardians. I specifically wanted to see if I can IFK the Guardians, and I did. I IFK'd the Guardian fights, literally allowing them to hit me specifically, and just running around, not pressing Cyclone, just pressing the Flasks, and that's it. I specifically wanted to get hit to proc the counterattack and see how much damage it does, and it does an absolutely silly amount of damage. The last thing about the build that makes it probably one of the best builds I've ever played is how fucking cheap it is, guys. It's incredibly cheap because it's a Face Breaker build with Surrender Shield. Literally, you need 2 items to make this build work. Abyssos is kind of an endgame upgrade. Chest with Maim is also kind of an endgame upgrade. You don't really need this to do this kind of silly damage. So 2 items, Face Breaker, 1 Alchemy, and Surrender is the very good Surrender that I bought was like 40 KS for me. That's the whole investment that I have. The helm was literally nothing because I crafted my decent helm with 1 Divine Orb. I crafted melee unarmed range to the helm, and it was like a normal helm for about 10 chaos with the Reckoning cooldown. Normal like life res helm. No one gives a shit about Reckoning so far, probably before I release this build. So the build was insanely cheap. It is also one of the best league starters I could probably recommend for any player who wants to play melee. This is incredible league starter, absolutely incredible, guys. Super cheap, fast, strong. You literally don't die, and it can farm anything: bosses, maps, delve, any encounters. Absolutely easy, fantastic. I did 2 Deathless Uber Elder kills in about 2 minutes, which I will show you as well in a separate video, so take a look, guys. And this is my first attempt with Abyssos and the Phoenix, which I wanted to see just how fast Phoenix will die. And the best part about the Phoenix is he actually does some nice melee attacks, so can get these counterattacks, and we'll see exactly how fast he dies in this build, guys. Take a look. This is the first attempt. That's it. Bam. That's it. Here we are in the path of building, guys. I will guide you for all the things you need to know about the build. So first of all that you need to know is this is unarmed build using the Face Breakers and the Surrender Shield. And the important part of the build is taking crit chance, because by default unarmed attacks cannot crit, so we'll be using this thing called the Rigwell's Curse, which is extremely crucial for the build to make it work. Without this thing we will not be able to crit on the unarmed, and this gives us base unarmed critical strike chance. This is the important part of the build. So aside from this, this is a pretty standard Gladiator crit build with one-hander, like if you play any one-hander crit Gladiator build. So we started as a Gladiator here, taking this nose, gaining life, attack speed, proceed to the art of the Gladiator as well as bravery, going down with defiance, and we will be stacking quite a bit of attack damage with a shield as well as block, as well as crit multiplier for melee. So defiance, then going down, taking Golem's Blood, then stacking more block with retaliation as well as testudo. Proceeding to the left, going down with the Brinkmanship, who gives us +1 to the unarmed attack range, also very important. So there's only 2 things that gives us unarmed attack range, which is Master of the Arena and Brinkmanship. This is it. At this point you can also start stacking some crit and life, which is dismembering as well as bloodless. Also proceed to the left. Do not take the life tree at this point, is not necessary. Just try to stack more block to become way tankier at the very beginning of the game. This way will make your life easier. So stacking Warrior's Blood, Heart of the Warrior, Bondified, proceed to the left, get Solidity, Diamond Skin for the resistance, some movement speed, armor. We will have quite a bit of armor utilizing Val Molten Shell and normal Molten Shell as well, to give us a crazy amount of boost to the toughness. So proceed to the left, take Juggernaut and go down to the aggressive Bastion, as well as go up and take a Barbarism, then start stacking crit again with Disemboweling. Go up, take Tireless and take Sanctuary. This is like the end game, like 80-90 plus. Around level 70 you can actually start stretching to this life wheel, which is also makes you quite tankier for the overlap. Just depends. Personally, I stacked this once about a level 80 to 90, and this I took about 70. So just make sure you guys grab the block chance as much as possible, like this over here, and this starts staking crit and staking more more life and block chance and resistance. That's about it. Nothing crazy, guys. For the first thing in the Ascendancy, we'll be taking Painforge. This is mandatory, and the important thing to notice about the Painforge is that it doesn't work with the path of building. You see, Painforge gives us your counterattacks deal double damage. Unfortunately, this double damage on the Reckoning is not considered, so this thing should be multiplied by 2 at least. So this is 2.3 million and should be about 5 million if we consider Painforge, which is not the case for the path of building, unfortunately, guys. So the first thing is Painforge. The next one is Versatile Combatant to give you a spell block equal to your attack block. For the Merciless Lap, this is Valor Retaliation to give you a block cap. At this point, you will be about 70, like 60 to 70 block chance, about something like this, 60 plus, which will already be insanely tanky. This is where you'll be starting mapping. This is where you'll become like a fucking giant tank at this point. Violent Relation as a Merciless, and the last one for the Uberlap is Arena Challenger for the new Ascendancy introduced in 3.7. Gives you the Challenger charges, which makes you just more attack speed and more movement speed. This is very important for the mapping, which makes you just faster because you're using Cyclone as a movement skill. Just makes you faster. And also hitting a rare and unique enemy in the blood stance, which is against bosses, you also gain challenge charges, which is very, very nice. That's about it for now. Let's go over the skills real quick, guys. For 6-link Cyclone, this is in your chest, and keep in mind the Cyclone is like a non-main damage dealer, even though it does quite a considerable amount of damage. It's about like a 4.5 million. Oh, not sorry, no. Yeah, that's about it. So it's about like 4.5 million, which is a little less than the Reckoning. Like I said, the main emphasis, guys, is on the Reckoning still. So this thing is actually quite considerable, quite good damage for the Cyclone. And this is what we proc our Legion with. And if the Legion goes down, we will procking something else probably. So Cyclone is this. It is a 7-link with the chest on the MAME support. They got MAME support there too by default. The links are Cyclone, Brutality, Malefice, Fortify, Impale, and Rage. The reason that I have Rage here is it gives you attack damage when you have Rage, and attack damage transforms into damage for the Reckoning. So it buffs both the Cyclone and the Reckoning. Rage is fantastic, guys. Always use Rage here. Another 4-link is a Blood Magic with Precision, Valmotor Challenge, and Kestrel Watcher. This is the trick that I personally invented for this build, and I haven't seen it anywhere. So I've struggled for quite a bit in terms of mana reservation, and I didn't want to stick Enlighten there. And the thing that I actually invented for this build is using Precision with Blood Magic. This is a crit build, and getting high hit chances is extremely important. This is probably the reason why Octavian decided to go with the Resolute technique, because he could not get the desired amount of hit chance to reliably crit. But I came up with this crazy invention that I did. I just completely went to the level 20 precision, making my crit very high with a very high accuracy. And linking with Blood Magic completely reserves all precision with about like 300 to 400 life, which is not the case since we almost have like 6.5 thousand life, and also 400, like 350 life for the level 20 precision, and this solves absolutely all problems with the accuracy for the build. This is it. This is a trick, guys. Falling Auras, Herald of Purity, Blood and Sand, Pride, and Blood Rage. This is it. Just Blood and Sand. Sand for the Sand stands for the mapping, and blood stands for the bossing. That's it. Pride is mandatory for the melee fist. Hell Purity once again is melee fist damage. That's it. This is custom damage taken low level 4 with Temple Shield, which gives us 30% more block chance, as well as phase run, which is kind of a very short living buff, but sometimes it can happen and boost your damage by a silly amount of melee fist as well. Ice Golem is not triggered by the custom damage taken. I cast it manually when he dies. He's just sitting there. So and this is basically the thing. This is the Reckoning, and this is the Falling. The shield is supported by level 30 Reckoning, and we put 3 more gems there. Brutality for the fist, melee fist just to stack more physical damage, and Pulverize to give a little more area damage and more AoE, so that the Reckoning will hit enemies further from you. And the way that build works in general, guys, is that, for example, you spin like this with the Cyclone, and the Cyclone has like very small range. If you watch my videos, you see that the range and the area of Cyclone is pretty small because it's an unarmed Cyclone, so it has very tiny range. But Pulverize adds a little more area for the Reckoning than for the Cyclone, and when something hits you from afar, like if you're spinning like this, and then something hits you, and then Reckoning kills him something further than the Cyclone. So monsters just do not even reach your Cyclone. So Cyclone melts kind of a tanky monsters, while Reckoning pulverizes, completely destroys all these packs which are outside of the Cyclone range. So this kind of works like double layers of damage. The first is the Cyclone, which kind of melts and shrinks all the shit inside, and then Reckoning, which just completely kind of evaporates everything from afar. That's why this combination, it works fucking wonders, guys. It's fucking wonders. This is so Reckoning, Brutality, melee fist, Pulverize. I also did a sweet comparison here, comparing like level 30 Reckoning with a pure 6-link Reckoning. So I wanted to see how much damage it does. So you can see this is a level for like 4-link Reckoning. This is, sorry, here we go. Where is it? Reckoning. So this is the Reckoning, like 4-link and a shield. This is 2.3 million, and this is a 6-link simulator Reckoning. To compare, this is 2.6 million. This is like supposed to be if what you could put in a 6-link Reckoning, like for the chest, for example. This is 2.6, so just 10% more damage. So 6-link, like fully beefed 6-link, does just 10% more damage than a crippled 4-link in a shield. That's why you don't really need a 6-link for Reckoning to work. The shield just absolutely works fucking miracle, guys. Another thing that I personally invented in the build, guys, is I lowered down the necessary requirement of the intelligence and dexterity, because it's quite a problem. There's a lot of things like the blood rage. So the personal invention number 2 for this build from me is that I lowered down blood rage to level 10, which makes it just 104 dexterity. It makes your life incredibly much easier. Dude, you don't really need this level 20 blood rage. It does nothing for the Reckoning, and as the emphasis here on the build is on the Reckoning, so you don't really need to struggle with the dexterity. You don't really need to boost your Cyclone to a point where it requires a fuck ton of dexterity. You just don't need this, so lower it down to level 10. And another super hungry super hungry intelligence thing is the Temper Shield. So it has absolutely no impact if you have level 1 or level 10, level 20. The only difference is the intelligence, so keep it level 1 at all times. This is it, guys. Now let's go to the items really quick, and there's quite a lot of cool things about this. So first of all, it's definitely the Surrender Shield, guys, and this is the faded version, which you upgrade as a prophecy from the Anticipation Shield. This is this is pretty hard to drop this shield as a soul cell found, so I do not recommend this build for the soul cell found, probably because it's just hard to drop this shield, but the shield itself is kind of cheap, affordable. You can get an absolute GG shield for about 40k to 1x. It's not big of a deal. The reason why the build does such a fuck ton of damage is the Abyssos, guys. I decided to just go all guns blazing, and it was not easy to get the Abyssos with this cooldown, but if you watch trade for quite a while, you probably get this. However, 99% of the game I ran with this thing, which is a Hate, Fate, Howl, Eternal Burgeonet, which I crafted myself. I bought this for about 10 or 20 chaos and just crafted the unarmed attack range and socketed melee gems. And this is probably the best thing you need to get for this build while leveling. Just try to get this with the open, I think it's a prefix, right? Yeah, I think it's an open prefix. Let's craft the unarmed attack range and you are good to go till you find the Abyssos. This is it. Gloves, body armor, two great options here. First is a maim chest. Just any maim chest, doesn't matter what it be, just max life and maim, not crazy. And this is a min-max chest that I bought for 37 exalts, and this is probably the most expensive part of my setup. This is maim, life, attacks have crit strike chance, as well as an additional curse, which allows me to use both vulnerability and Assassin's Mark on the ring as well. This is pretty much min-max chest here. However, for the build to run, you don't really need this. You can go Lure Weave, guys, and you can see the damage is still very, very strong, like 2 million from 2, and this crazy ass chest is just like 10 to 15% more damage. So it's not even that crazy difference. So just a Lure Weave and you are already like badass, good to go. That's it. Gloves, like I said, is a phase breakers, and you will need a phase breaker with vulnerability on hit corruption. This is very important to get, and this is actually quite cheap as well, surprisingly cheap, because in general, like, not many people are fan of playing phase breakers. So now you need to get as much high physical damage with unarmed attacks as possible with the vulnerability corruption. These gloves costed me about 1 exalt, and the generic price for this is like 1x to 3x to 4x, so maximum is like 3-4 exalt. Nothing crazy, guys, affordable. Boots, just absolutely generic boots with any boot enchant which is not elemental damage, because we're doing physical damage. So anything, dodge, movement speed, crit strike chance, anything that is worthwhile, just life resist, that's about it. This boots cost me 5 exalts on this. The amulet, like I said, is Rigwell's Curse, which gives us global crit multiply as well as unarmed critical strike chance, +7 to base, and you can see there's a lot of modifiers to claw damage which apply to unarmed range. And unfortunately, I got a question during my stream, like, what about the claws, guys? How can stretch to the claws? And the only problem with the claws, guys, it's absolutely not worth stretching out there. It's just an absolutely ridiculous road to the claws node over there. Just takes too much time, too much nodes to get there. Absolutely not worth it. Forget it. I tried to get there and the damage is not worth it. It's not even that good. The ring are two things. One is the Mark of the Elder with a fizz damage and attack damage if your other ring is Shaper, and the second is the Shaper ring, and this is a Steel ring, and this is Assassin's Mark ring. This is crazy thing, guys. This is expensive. This is your end game thing to work for. If you don't have it, just use absolutely any Shaper ring. It doesn't have to be Steel ring, just any Shaper ring, like life resists, whatever you can get, just use it and you are good to go. But things like this is your end game ring. For the belt, absolutely standard belt, life resist, increased damage craft, that's about it. The Abyssal Jewel that I have right there on the belt is very interesting, and I haven't seen this thing anywhere in any other builds that I've been trying to find about this setup. Another thing that is important to understand about this build is you need to be attacked. You are dealing counterattacks, so you're interested in being attacked all the time. Monsters just need to concentrate all the fucking damage on you. You just need to be attacked. Taunt enemies on hit with attacks is incredibly useful. So I can 100% recommend at least 1, even 2 drills like this. Taunt enemies on hit with attacks. This is extremely important in my opinion. The other one is the Watcher's Eye, which was about 15 exiles, I think. This is a thing that you need to work for as well in the end game. This is a double pride duel with a chance to deal double damage, and hits intimidating. As you can see, I have intimidating clicked over there. This is simply because I have this Watcher's Eye. If you can get some precision, I got like a giant amount of different combinations of Watcher's Eyes, guys. You can see what kind of useful combinations of Watcher's Eyes you can get. For example, attack damage while precision, double precision, precision crit, pride, double pride, precision pride, different combinations you can see there. But I think that this, like, I've been experimenting a lot, guys, and this I think is literally the best. If you can get precision on top, so if it's like pride, and precision, this is the best. This is the best, but it can be very expensive as well. The generic jewels adjust attack speed while holding a shield, melee damage, life, and stats that you probably need, like intelligence, dexterity, attack speed, whatever, actually doesn't matter. If you can get a jewel like this, which I bought for about 1x, no one give a shit about this. Attack speed, crit, melee crit multiplier, max life, and melee damage. This is the thing you need to look for. The passive points, 2 passive points as the bandits, guys. This is it. You don't really need anything else. You can go allure if you wish, but to be honest, it's just not that necessary. Resistance are not a big problem, and crit you can get it on the jewel, so it's not really that crazy. For the Flasks, I'll go really quick. Basalt for the Abyssus. If you don't run Abyssus, if you run Fate Hell, just go with the Sulfur Flask instead for the damage. You don't need like crazy amount of tankiness. So if you are not running Abyssus, go for the damage with the Sulfur. If you run Abyssus, just run with Basalt Flask to give it more physical damage mitigation, because some heavy strong fist damage can get you wrecked. Probably not. Another flask is a Diamond Flask, just crit strike chances lucky. The third is the Quicksilver for mobility, and Alchemist Diamond Flask. I'll get a critical strike. Wait a minute, 2 Diamond Flasks? What the fuck is that? Oh, Life Flask, yeah. So Life Flask, guys, they are just for the life. And Lion's Roar is the last and the most important thing as well. Lion's Roar is the first thing you need to get for the build. This is it, guys, and this is probably it for the build. If you have any questions, let me know in the comment section. Like I said, the build is incredibly strong. I will talk a little bit about the build at the end game section right now. Forgive me, guys, the visual artifacts in my face, because the lighting at this time of the day is pretty weird. The light is protruding from the window and goes into the black screen and all this shit. The room is very small and dark, so sometimes I notice I get some kind of a visual artifacts on my face. So it doesn't matter, guys. It's all about the build, right? So this is the Uber-L, and this is the last Deathless kill that I did with pretty much maximized everything. It was about 2-minute kill, extremely fast, super strong build. I really enjoyed the build. It's so good. It's so tanky. It's so strong. It's so fast. And I didn't even need some kind of shield charge, because when you get the mobility like Flask and movement speed, challenge charges, you don't really need shield charge, you don't really need whirling blades, leap slam, forget about it, guys. A Cyclone is all you need for mobility. It's a good like sliding mobility skill, so personally don't need anything else. What I like about this build once again is extremely tankiness, extremely strong. Cyclone on top of the retaliating counterattacks with the Reckoning does a pretty ridiculous amount of damage. I haven't seen anything like that, and I will posting more videos in the video section, guys, to see what kind of shit it has. I also AFK'd the Guardian's fights. Like I said, I specifically wanted to see if I can completely not touch Cyclone at all, and I did. Hydra killed herself really quick. Phoenix was also badass. Minotaur slammed me to the point when he died, and Chimera is very annoying, has a lot of phases, so it was not as good as the rest to showcase. But the other Guardians also was very fun to play, And I will probably not try Shaper because there's a lot of things like the balls and the beam which I just cannot AFK this fight. But with these melee slams, this is where the damage comes from. When Shaper and Elder slam me with the melee, this is where shit is crazy. I want to thank you guys for watching the video. It was a pleasure doing this. I really hope you enjoyed this. I can recommend this as a league starter. It was absolutely crazy. See you soon, guys. Thanks for watching and take care. First of all, I would like to thank you very much for watching the video. Your likes and dislikes, especially, as they push me forward even more. If you want to see more content, please consider subscribing to the channel. I do daily uploads of role-playing content, being it builds, guides, let's play, stream highlights, and upcoming RPG games. Also, don't forget to follow my Twitch stream to catch me live in action. I do stream daily on working days. I'm a full-time YouTube content creator and a Twitch streamer too, so if you want to support me, you can do it either from Twitch or by PayPal directly from my website angryroleplayer.com. Join my Discord channel too for a place to discuss RPG things offline, as well as follow my Twitter to be notified on any new content. If you want to get extra information like sneak peeks into upcoming videos, plans, different behind-the-scenes footage, you can also join the Unholy Army on Patreon as well, guys. Thank you very much once again for watching, listening to all this. See you soon.